First contact and deception. The quantum detection array at Luna Base hummed quietly as Commander Sarah Chen completed her routine systems check. 10 years of monitoring deep space had taught her patience, but something felt different about tonight's shift. The array's sensors were picking up unusual patterns in the fabric of space-time, patterns that shouldn't exist according to current human understanding of physics. "Dr. Matthews, are you seeing this?" Sarah called to her chief scientist, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. The rhythmic distortions were unlike anything they'd ever recorded. Before Matthews could respond, the entire array lit up like a Christmas tree. A massive object had just emerged from what appeared to be a fold in space itself, approximately 300,000 kilometers from Earth. The object was massive, at least 3 kilometers in length, and its surface seemed to ripple with an otherworldly iridescence. Within hours, the vessel had established orbit around Earth, and every major military installation worldwide was on high alert. The ship's arrival had bypassed all of Earth's early warning systems, except for the experimental quantum array that Sarah oversaw. The first transmission came 12 hours later. The aliens called themselves the Meridian Alliance, a coalition of advanced species that had achieved interstellar travel millennia ago. Their representative, High Commander Vexthor, addressed the United Earth Council with what appeared to be benevolent intentions. "We have observed your civilization's progress for some time," Vexthor announced, his holographic form towering over the assembled leaders. His species resembled a cross between a mantis and a humanoid, with crystalline structures growing from their exoskeletons. "Your potential is intriguing, if underdeveloped. We offer you membership in our alliance, under our guidance." Sarah watched the transmission from Luna Base, her jaw clenched. Something about Vexthor's tone set off warning bells in her mind. She had spent years working on classified projects that the public knew nothing about, including the Phantom Project, humanity's greatest technological achievement. The following weeks proved her suspicions correct. The Meridian Alliance's guidance consisted mainly of pointing out humanity's technological inadequacies. Their scientists dismissed Earth's quantum computing advances as primitive attempts at understanding basic universal principles. They laughed at human spacecraft, calling them little more than crude chemical rockets. But what the Alliance didn't know, what only a handful of people on Earth knew, was that humanity had been keeping secrets. Big ones. While the Alliance paraded their supposed superiority, Sarah attended a classified meeting deep within Luna Base's secure sections. Present were the heads of the Phantom Project and key military leaders from Earth's major powers. "They think we're centuries behind them," General Alexandra Santos said, her weathered face illuminated by the holographic display showing the Alliance vessel. "Let them think that. Project Phantom is ready for Phase 2, and Commander Chen will lead the operation." Sarah nodded, her mind already racing through the implications. The Phantom Project wasn't just about developing new technology. It was about revolutionizing humanity's understanding of physics itself. While the Alliance thought Earth was struggling with basic spaceflight, they had no idea that humans had cracked the code of quantum field manipulation. The next day, Sarah watched as another Alliance representative lectured a group of Earth scientists about their primitive understanding of propulsion systems. She kept her face carefully neutral, even as she knew that deep within Lunar Base, human engineers were putting the finishing touches on technology that would shake the Alliance's smug superiority to its core. That evening, as Sarah prepared for the most important mission of her life, she received an encrypted message from Earth's Unified Military Command. The words glowed on her secure terminal. "Operation Shadow Dance is approved. Phantom 1 is cleared for launch. Show them what humanity can really do." A slight smile crossed Sarah's face as she suited up. The Alliance was about to learn that appearances could be deceiving, and humanity was far from primitive. As she walked toward the hidden hangar containing Phantom 1, she couldn't help but think about how the next few days would change the course of human history forever. What the Alliance didn't realize was that their every move, every transmission, and every piece of technology they had so proudly displayed had been studied, analyzed, and in many cases, already improved upon by human scientists. The real question wasn't whether humanity could compete with the Alliance. It was how the Alliance would react when they discovered just how badly they had underestimated Earth. As Sarah entered the final security checkpoint leading to Phantom 1, she thought about all the sacrifices that had led to this moment. Thousands of scientists working in secret, years of breakthrough research carefully hidden from the world. And now, finally, the chance to show the galaxy that humanity deserved its place among the stars. The time for hiding was almost over. Soon, very soon, the Alliance would learn that their assumptions about humanity's capabilities were not just wrong. They were catastrophically wrong. The hidden edge. Phantom 1 was unlike any spacecraft ever publicly acknowledged by humanity. As Sarah walked through its main corridor, her footsteps silent against the quantum-dampened floor, she marveled at how far human innovation had come. The ship's hull wasn't just made of advanced materials. It was alive in a way, comprised of billions of quantum-entangled particles that could shift and adapt at the speed of thought. "Final systems check complete, Commander," reported Dr. Kai Patel, the ship's chief engineer. His fingers danced across holographic interfaces that would have made the Alliance's scientists drop their jaws in shock. "The quantum field manipulators are operating at 100% efficiency. We're ready to show them what we've got." The ship's bridge was a marvel of human engineering. Instead of the crude control panels the Alliance expected from primitive humans, it featured a neural interface system that connected the crew directly to the ship's quantum computer core. Sarah settled into the commander's chair, feeling the familiar tingle as the neural links activated. "Begin launch sequence," she ordered. "Maintain quantum shroud at maximum." Deep within Luna Base's hidden hangar, Phantom 1 came to life. The ship's quantum drive hummed at a frequency that existed partly in other dimensions, making it virtually undetectable to conventional sensors. This was humanity's greatest secret. While the Alliance believed humans were still struggling with basic fusion power, Earth's scientists had learned to manipulate the fundamental forces of reality itself. The truth was, humanity had made its greatest leaps forward not through gradual progress, but through a revolutionary understanding of quantum mechanics that occurred 20 years ago. Dr. Elena Martinez, now regarded as the mother of quantum field theory, had discovered that the universe wasn't just stranger than we imagined, it was stranger than we could imagine. And in that strangeness lay unprecedented opportunity. As Phantom 1 silently lifted off, Sarah remembered the day she first learned about the project. She had been a young officer then, selected for her exceptional ability to understand and adapt to new concepts. The revelation that humanity had developed technology far beyond what was publicly known had shocked her, but not as much as learning why it had been kept secret. "The quantum shroud is holding steady," reported Lieutenant James Wong from the sensor station. "Alliance vessels are maintaining their standard patrol patterns. They have no idea we're here." The ship's quantum drive allowed it to move through space in ways that the Alliance considered impossible. Their own faster-than-light technology relied on brute force, tearing holes in space-time. Humanity had found a more elegant solution, using quantum entanglement to simply step through the spaces between spaces. As they accelerated away from Luna Base, Sarah opened a secure channel to General Santos. "Phantom 1 is away. Beginning Phase 2 of Operation Shadow Dance." "Understood, Commander," Santos replied. "Remember, we need to know their true intentions before we reveal ourselves. The quantum interceptors have detected unusual patterns in their communications, patterns that don't match their supposed peaceful mission." This was the real reason for their mission. While the Alliance had been condescending to humanity in public, their private communications told a different story. Earth's quantum monitoring systems had picked up encrypted transmissions that hinted at darker motives. The Alliance's pattern of discovering and uplifting primitive species had been repeated dozens of times across the galaxy, and not all of those stories had happy endings. Sarah turned to her crew, each member handpicked for this mission. "We're about to attempt something never before done in human history. We're going to infiltrate an Alliance mothership using technology they don't believe exists, operated by a species they consider barely space-capable. Dr. Patel looked up from his station, a gleam in his eye. They think we're still working out basic quantum entanglement. Wait until they see our quantum phase inverters in action. The plan was audacious. Phantom 1 would use its quantum shroud to approach the Alliance mothership undetected. Using technology that the Alliance considered theoretically impossible, they would gather intelligence about the true nature of the benevolent Alliance and their real intentions for Earth. As they approached the massive Alliance vessel, Sarah couldn't help but appreciate the irony. The Alliance's representatives had spent weeks lecturing humanity about their superior technology, never realizing that their every word was being analyzed by quantum computers far more advanced than anything they had shown. "Quantum field stabilize," Wong reported. "We're ready to begin close observation protocols." Sarah nodded, feeling the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. "Begin Operation Shadow Dance, Phase 2. Let's see what our benevolent friends are really up to." The massive Alliance ship loomed ahead, its crystalline surface gleaming in the starlight. Thanks to their quantum shroud, Phantom 1 was completely invisible, not just to eyes and sensors, but to reality itself. They were about to discover just how deep the Alliance's deception went, and whether humanity's hidden edge would be enough to counter whatever the Alliance had planned. Alliance's shadow. The truth about the Meridian Alliance began to unravel as Phantom 1 ghosted through the massive mothership's quantum wake. Sarah and her crew watched in growing horror as their advanced sensors decoded the encrypted transmissions flowing through the Alliance vessel's crystalline communication arrays. "Commander, you need to see this," Lieutenant Wong called out, his voice tight with tension. The quantum interceptors had just decoded a high-priority transmission between High Commander Vex Thor and what appeared to be the Alliance's Central Governing Council. The holographic display materialized in the center of Phantom 1's bridge, showing Vex Thor's true face, not the benevolent mentor he presented to Earth, but a calculating strategist discussing the next phase of what they called the harvest. The humans remained pleasantly ignorant. Vex Thor reported to shadowy figures whose forms seemed to shift and twist in impossible ways. "Their technology is precisely where we need it to be, advanced enough to be useful, but not so advanced that they could resist integration. Begin preparation for Phase 3. Sarah's hands clenched on her command chair as the meaning became clear. The Alliance wasn't a benevolent coalition of advanced species. It was a parasitic empire that consumed civilizations from within. Their pattern of discovery and uplifting was a carefully choreographed dance of manipulation and control. Dr. Patel's quantum analysis programs were piecing together fragments of data from multiple sources, revealing the horrifying truth. "Commander, I'm seeing references to at least 7 other civilizations they've uplifted in the past century alone. The pattern is always the same: first contact, technological humiliation, offered membership, and then..." He paused, his face pale in the blue light of his holographic displays. "Then they begin what they call neural integration. They literally reshape the target species' consciousness to serve the Alliance. They're not mentors. They're parasites." Sarah felt a cold fury building inside her as more data poured in. The Alliance's supposedly advanced technology was largely stolen from the civilizations they had consumed. Their guidance was merely a way to assess and prepare their victims for absorption into the collective. "They're not just after our technology," Dr. Patel continued, his voice shaking. "They want our creativity, our innovation. According to these files, humans have something they've never seen before: an ability to make intuitive leaps in understanding that their structured, hierarchical minds can't match." The quantum interceptors continued to pull in data, painting an increasingly disturbing picture. The Alliance's massive fleet wasn't for exploration or defense. It was for harvesting the mental and technological resources of countless civilizations across the galaxy. "New transmission incoming," Wong reported. They're discussing the timeline for Earth's integration. They plan to begin within the month. Sarah's mind raced. The Alliance had no idea that humans had already surpassed many of their technological achievements. Their quantum field manipulation technology was more advanced than anything the Alliance possessed. But would it be enough? Dr. Patel, what about their defensive capabilities? Sarah asked, already formulating a plan. That's the interesting part, Commander, Patel replied, a glimmer of hope in his voice. Their entire technology base is built on principles we abandoned years ago. They're still trying to brute force their way through quantum barriers. They have no concept of true quantum field manipulation. A new transmission caught their attention. The Alliance was discussing the failures of their previous attempt to infiltrate Earth's quantum research facilities. Their spies had been completely fooled by the public facade of primitive technology, never realizing that humans had developed their quantum technology along entirely different lines. They'd never encountered anything like our quantum shroud, Patel explained. Their sensors are based on conventional quantum mechanics. Our phase-shifted technology might as well be magic to them. Sarah stood, her decision made. Send everything we've discovered back to Earth through the quantum entanglement channel. General Santos needs to know what we're really dealing with. As Phantom 1 continued its silent observation, they intercepted more transmissions detailing the Alliance's true history. They weren't the original architects of their technology. They were thieves who had stolen and cobbled together the innovations of countless civilizations they had consumed. Look at this, Wong called out, highlighting a particular data stream. Their entire faster-than-light system is adapted from a species they absorbed 3 centuries ago. They haven't innovated anything new in decades. They just consume and adapt. The pieces were falling into place. The Alliance's dismissive attitude toward human technology wasn't just arrogance. It was a deliberate strategy to keep humanity from realizing its true potential until it was too late. They had no idea that their intended victims had already surpassed them in the areas that mattered most. Sarah looked at her crew, seeing the same determination reflected in their eyes. "Prepare for Phase 3 of Operation Shadow Dance," she ordered. "It's time to show the Alliance that humanity isn't as primitive as they think, and we won't be their next meal." The Phantom emerges. The moment of revelation was carefully chosen. The Alliance had called a grand assembly aboard their mothership, gathering representatives from Earth's governments for what they claimed would be a historic announcement. High Commander Vexthor stood before the assembled dignitaries, his crystalline form radiating false benevolence. "Today marks the beginning of humanity's true ascension," Vexthor announced, his translated voice echoing through the vast chamber. "We have evaluated your species and found you worthy of integration into our collective." The human representatives shifted uncomfortably, unaware of the true meaning behind his words. But in the shadows of quantum space, Phantom 1 waited for the perfect moment to strike. Sarah watched through the ship's quantum sensors as Vexthor began explaining the integration process, his words now carrying the sinister double meaning that only she and her crew understood. "Send the signal," Sarah commanded. Across Earth and throughout the solar system, hidden quantum transmitters activated simultaneously. The message was brief. "Execute Operation Shadow Dance. Final phase." In that instant, everything changed. Throughout the Alliance mothership, their supposedly superior systems began failing in impossible ways. Quantum field disruptions rippled through their network, bypassing every defense they had erected. The Alliance's confidence in their technological superiority had left them blind to humanity's true capabilities. "Disengage Quantum Shroud," Sarah ordered. "Let's introduce ourselves properly." Phantom 1 shimmered into existence directly above the Alliance's assembly chamber, its quantum-shifted hull gleaming with an otherworldly light. The Alliance's sensors, finally detecting the ship, went haywire as they tried to process technology that shouldn't exist according to their understanding of physics. Vexthor's speech cut off mid-sentence as warning alarms blared throughout the mothership. His crystalline form flickered as he received urgent communications from his command staff. "Impossible," he hissed, his diplomatic facade cracking. "Their technology is primitive. They couldn't possibly." Sarah's holographic form materialized in the center of the assembly chamber, her image projected through quantum fields that the Alliance couldn't begin to comprehend. "I'm afraid you've made some rather serious miscalculations about humanity, High Commander." The Alliance's security forces attempted to respond, but their weapons found no purchase against Phantom One's quantum-shifted hull. Their energy beams passed harmlessly through the ship, their targeting systems unable to lock onto something that existed partially out of phase with normal spacetime. "Your entire assessment of humanity was based on what we wanted you to see," Sarah continued, her voice calm but carrying an edge of steel. "While you were laughing at our primitive technology, we were analyzing and surpassing yours." Displays throughout the chamber activated, showing the evidence Phantom One had gathered. The Alliance's true nature was laid bare before the shocked human representatives, their history of consuming civilizations, their technological parasitism, their planned neural integration of humanity. "This is impossible," Vexthor raged, his crystalline form pulsing with angry light. "You're nothing but primitives. We've monitored your development for decades." "No," Sarah corrected him. "You monitored what we wanted you to monitor. Our quantum technology doesn't just hide ships, it hides entire research facilities, cities, space stations. Everything you saw was a carefully constructed facade." To demonstrate her point, Phantom One began cycling through its quantum field configurations. The ship seemed to multiply, split, and reform, demonstrating capabilities that the Alliance had believed were theoretically impossible. Their sensors couldn't even begin to track the ship's true position or nature. "Humanity doesn't need your guidance or your integration," Sarah declared. "We developed our technology along paths you never even considered, while you were busy stealing and cobbling together the innovations of other species. We were pushing the boundaries of what was possible." The assembly erupted into chaos as more human ships began dropping their quantum shrouds throughout the solar system. Vessels of impossible design, incorporating technology that the Alliance couldn't comprehend, appeared in strategic positions around every Alliance ship. "You should have looked closer at those primitive quantum experiments you dismissed," Sarah continued. "You might have noticed that we weren't failing to achieve your level of technology. We were moving beyond it. Your brute force approach to quantum mechanics is obsolete. We learned to dance with reality instead of trying to dominate it." Vexthor's crystalline form trembled with rage and fear as he realized the full extent of his species' miscalculation. The humans hadn't just hidden their true capabilities, they had achieved what the Alliance had been unsuccessfully pursuing for centuries. "The question now," Sarah concluded, her holographic form towering over the assembly, "is what happens next. We know what you planned for humanity. We know what you've done to other civilizations. The choice you face is simple: leave our solar system and never return, or find out just how far beyond your understanding our technology really is." The Alliance's mighty fleet found itself surrounded by ships that their most advanced sensors could barely detect, employing principles of physics they couldn't comprehend. Their entire strategy of technological superiority and intimidation had crumbled in the face of humanity's hidden strength. New dawn. The aftermath of humanity's revelation sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Within hours of Phantom One's demonstration, the truth about the Meridian Alliance spread across their supposed empire through quantum channels they couldn't detect or block. Every subjugated species learned of the deception that had led to their integration. On the Alliance mothership, High Commander Vexthor faced a choice that none of his kind had ever anticipated. His crystalline form had lost its luster, dimmed by the realization that the Alliance's centuries of technological superiority had been overthrown in a single day. "You have 1 hour to begin your withdrawal," Sarah announced to the assembled Alliance leadership. "Your entire fleet must be beyond Pluto's orbit in 24 hours. If you comply, we'll allow you to leave peacefully. If not..." She let the threat hang in the air, knowing they had seen enough of humanity's capabilities to understand the consequences. But humanity's victory came with responsibility. As Alliance ships began their retreat, Dr. Patel made a discovery that would change everything. "Commander," he called out, his voice urgent. "I found something in their databases. The neural integration process. It can be reversed." Sarah's eyes widened at the implications. "You mean we can free the species they've absorbed?" "Not just free them," Paddle replied, his fingers dancing across quantum-shifted displays. "We can restore their individual consciousness, their civilizations." The Alliance didn't just steal their technology. They stored their entire cultural and technological heritage, keeping it as a sort of trophy. The next few weeks saw humanity step onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as liberators. Phantom 1 led a fleet of Earth's quantum-shifted vessels throughout Alliance space, systematically freeing enslaved civilizations and restoring their independence. The Arcturians, masters of biological engineering who had been among the first to fall to the Alliance, regained their consciousness after centuries of slavery. The Vega Collective, whose mastery of artificial intelligence had been stolen and twisted by the Alliance, awakened to find their civilization preserved in hidden data vaults. "We didn't just beat them," Sarah observed to her crew as they watched another species celebrate their liberation. "We proved that there's more than one path to advancement. The Alliance's way, stealing, consuming, dominating, it was always going to fail against genuine innovation and cooperation." Earth became a center of galactic cooperation as freed civilizations sought to learn humanity's unique approach to quantum physics. The human ability to think laterally, to see connections where others saw only chaos, had led them down technological paths that the Alliance had never imagined possible. Dr. Elena Martinez, the mother of quantum field theory, established the Galactic Science Academy on Luna Base. Representatives from dozens of species came to learn and share, creating new technologies that combined the best aspects of their various approaches to science and engineering. The Alliance's greatest mistake, Sarah explained to a gathering of representatives from newly freed worlds, was assuming that their path was the only path. They saw different approaches as inferior rather than complementary. They sought to consume rather than collaborate. The Alliance itself underwent a transformation. With their neural integration technology neutralized by human quantum fields, individual members of their species began to remember what they had been before the collective had consumed their individuality. Some chose to join the new galactic community, sharing what they knew and seeking redemption for their past actions. 1 year after the revelation of Phantom 1, humanity hosted the first galactic conclave. Representatives from hundreds of worlds, including reformed Alliance members, gathered to establish new principles for interstellar cooperation. The quantum technology that had hidden humanity's advancement now served as the foundation for a new form of faster-than-light communication and travel, connecting civilizations across vast distances. Sarah stood at the podium, addressing the assembled representatives. Behind her, Earth shone blue and beautiful in the lunar sky, a reminder of humanity's home and the principles they fought to protect. "We stand at the beginning of a new era," she declared. "Not one of domination or absorption, but of genuine cooperation. Each of our species brings unique perspectives and abilities to this coalition. Together, we can explore the mysteries of the universe in ways none of us could achieve alone." As she looked out over the assembled beings, some humanoid, some crystalline, some existing as pure energy, Sarah remembered the day the Alliance had first arrived, believing they had found another primitive species to consume. Instead, they had encountered a civilization that would transform the galaxy. The Phantom Project, once humanity's greatest secret, became the cornerstone of a new age of exploration and discovery. Earth's quantum ships, now joined by vessels incorporating technology from dozens of civilizations, pushed the boundaries of known space. And in the vast darkness between the stars, new wonders awaited a galaxy united not by force or domination, but by curiosity, innovation, and the simple desire to understand the universe and each other.